In this video, we are going to talk about the Week 2 discussion board, which is due by midnight, Sunday, May 13th, and also the annotated bibliography assignment, which is due by midnight, Sunday, May 20th. And I want to talk about both together because they are both very much related. You may have seen under the discussion board for week 2 this week, what you're going to do is you are going to share with us an entry from your annotated bibliography. You're actually going to share your annotated bibliography entry on one of your 4 peer-reviewed research articles. And then your classmates and I can give you feedback on that. So, how do you write an annotated bibliography? If you go to week 3, and in the assignments folder, I've got several resources in there for you on writing an annotated bibliography. You have the annotated bibliography instructions here. Let's go to that first. There it goes. So, hopefully by now you've found at least 4 peer-reviewed research articles relating to your topic. If not, hopefully you're close. And as it says here, what you're doing in an annotated bibliography is for each of your 4 articles, you are giving a complete and accurate citation in APA bibliography format. See below, and this is what Annie Knight, the librarian, discussed with us in class Wednesday. And you are also giving a 1 to 2 paragraph summary of about 200 to 250 words on that article. So, what do you include in that 1 to 2 paragraph summary that is written entirely in your own words with no quotes from the article? What you are doing is answering the following 5 questions. You're telling us what the researchers studied, or what the main research question or topic of the study was. You're telling us how they studied it, what their research methods were. You're telling us what conclusions they found, or what was the main finding. And most importantly, for your literature review, you're telling us how this article applies or relates to your study. What answers does it possibly offer to your research question, and what answers does it not offer to your research question? That is, what are the article's weaknesses in terms of your research question? This does not mean you're giving us your opinion on the article or whether you agree with the article or not. No, that's not what you do in an annotated bibliography or in a literature review. You are just evaluating the research, the study, to tell us how well it does what it does in relation to your research question. How well does it help you in pursuing your own research to answer your research question? And when we look at the examples of the annotated bibliographies, that will help as well. Also, what you want to include in your summaries, in your annotated bibliography entries, is this under number 5. Choose to do one of these 3 things at the end. Either have a brief comparison with the other articles that you located, write about significant policy implications, that is the practical value of the study, or suggestions for future research. Most, if not all, of your 4 peer-reviewed research articles will either give significant policy implications or suggestions for future research. if your article doesn't do either one of those things, then you give us a brief comparison with the other articles that you located. So those are the 5 things that your 200 to 250 word paragraphs should include. Then the rest of this tells you what a peer-reviewed research article is, but we went over that in class on Wednesday, and so did Annie. This is important if you're still looking for articles, and we talked about this on Wednesday as well. Your articles need to address your research topic, but not necessarily your specific research question. For example, if I were researching people's attitudes about the legal drinking age and its effect on safety, my articles could be research reports about alcohol and safety, even if they don't specifically talk about the legal drinking age. It's related enough to evaluate in terms of your research question. So think broadly when you're looking for articles, because no one article is going to answer your research question exactly. If it did, then there would be little point in your doing your research. Your entries should be in alphabetical order by author's last name, and the annotated bibliography should be single-spaced. So each 1 to 2 paragraph summary should be single-spaced with an extra space between one entry and the next. So double space between your entries, but single space within each entry. In your final proposal, this is the only section that will be single-spaced. So yes, you will include this annotated bibliography as part of the references page in your full research proposal. That means that all of the entries in the references of your research proposal should be alphabetical, and for these 4 research articles, you should include your annotations, your 1 to 2 paragraph summaries. When I post a full sample research proposal under week 8, you'll see what that looks like. You don't have to worry about it for now. This is just a heads up that in your final proposal, the annotated bibliography will be included in the references section. And at that point, I'm sure you will have done and cited more research than just these 4 peer-reviewed research articles. So of course your references page is going to be longer than your 4 peer-reviewed research articles. It's going to include more than just that. Again, the annotations must be in your own words. Do not copy and paste directly from the articles. If you do, you have committed plagiarism, which we've talked about, and you will receive a 0 on this assignment. You will hand this assignment in through Blackboard, and no hard copy that's left over in the previous instructions, but just submit it through Blackboard, no hard copy. And as I was just mentioning, it's possible that after that you will find additional important articles that you decide to talk about in your proposal. These articles can later be added to your final research proposal, but you need only 4 annotated entries for this assignment. You'll probably also find additional important articles that you want to discuss in your literature review, which is just fine, but for now, just focus on 4 for your annotated bibliography. Okay, going back to week 3, let's see what this looks like. This is a sample annotated bibliography from one of my students in Fall 2 Capstone. See here that these reference information comes first in APA format. This student got APA format perfectly, so it's a good model to follow. You will see my comments here in track changes mode in red, and I'm sorry they're distracting. Please try to ignore them or pay little attention to them the first time through reading the samples, and then you will want to go back and look at my comments on what the student did well in particular and what didn't go so well. So you'll see right away that the student tells you what the main research question is that this article was answering, what was the main idea, main theme, main thesis of this research. So then it gets into the researcher's hypotheses. Now here, question number 2, the methods. Goes into the methods. Here he goes into the findings. Men who performed housework were likely to supervise children, and men who interacted in feminine-type activities also interacted in masculine-type activities. This finding shows, da-da-da. Those are the findings. Here he ties it into his own research. Personally, I would add to the research by going further into depth about the Mexican-identified men and their place of origin. So this is in relation to his research question. He also suggested changes in variables. And here's something he forgot to do, was question number 5. A lot of students in Fall 2 forgot question number 5 because it was written differently in the original instructions and wasn't as clear. But you, of course, are required to answer question number 5, which is either comparing and contrasting this article to the other articles you found, or policy recommendations or recommendations for future research. Okay, so let's look at another one. Begins with the entry in APA format. Perfect. So again, remember, number 1, the main idea or main research question answered in this study. Number 2, the methods used. Number 3, the main findings. Number 4, how does it relate to your research question? And what will you do differently, or what were the weaknesses of the study? All that is wrapped into relating it to your research question. And then number 5 is policy recommendations, or comparing and contrasting to other articles, or recommendations for future research. Okay, so let's look at this one. The central focus in this study, so right away, what does the study do overall? This study was based on data from 2003-2004 school years. There you go, there are the methods, the 2 dependent variables. Very good. Let's see, there were some implications. That's probably starting the findings. Let's see. Yes, here the results show the relation. There we go. That talks about the findings. And this study is a good start for my proposal, and it would be great to do research within the California school systems using this methodology. Okay, I wish he would have been a little more specific about why this study is good for his proposal and his particular research question, and why it would be great to do research within the California school systems using this methodology. A little more specificity would have been good. Here I ask him to proofread too. So please proofread your entries as well. And I see that I'm almost at 15 minutes, so I may have to end this soon. So look through this. Look through this on your own, these sample entries. Also, under week 3, look at the grading rubric for this assignment. I won't go through it all here, but you'll see that this assignment is worth 15 points. You can see that 5 of those points are focused on APA format and following it, and the rest are focused on the summaries, following the instructions for the summaries, answering all 5 of the questions clearly, precisely, and concisely in 200 to 250 words. So hopefully that helps you with the week 2 discussion board, where you share one of your annotated bibliography summaries and your annotated bibliography assignment.